Entergy wants to spend billions of dollars on new infrastructure to power a massive data center in Northeast Louisiana. Today, the utility asked the Public Service Commission to fast-track the timeline. Our Davion Telsey was at the meeting in downtown Alexandria.
Our number one obligation is to ensure that the ratepayers are protected and that our rates and electricity costs don't go up because of new businesses coming to the state.
Entergy is asking state regulators to approve a more than $22 billion plan to build a new power infrastructure for a data center linked to Meta.
And that seems to be enough time to make good policy.
What's drawing concern is how quickly this could move forward. Entergy is asking the Louisiana Public Service Commission to skip parts of its normal review process, which usually includes independent analysis meant to protect customers.
We still need to prove to you that we meet each and every one of the requirements of the Lightning Directive in order to be entitled to the exemption from the market-based mechanism process.
Advocates say their concern is the cost, warning it could ultimately fall on the shoulders of everyday residents through higher utility bills.
For 7 new gas plants to serve the Richland Parish data center, that is on top of the 3 gas plants that have already been approved. Our concern as a consumer advocate is that some of those costs will be shifted onto residents and other ratepayers across the state.
Still, not everyone agrees on the urgency.
Some folks are putting the cart before the horse on this. That it's important to recognize that the commission is not approving anything, that the game is just starting. We are looking into the analysis.
Well, we also look forward to the jobs and opportunity that new businesses are bringing to the state. Louisiana is moving in the right direction, and from the electric utility standpoint, we need to make sure that we're looking out for the ratepayer.
Commissioners approved the motion from Entergy by a vote of 4-1. A final decision will be made in December. In downtown Alexandria, I'm Davion Telsey.